Hello everyone, welcome back to UiPath tutorials. So today I am going to show you some of the questions on the activities and properties which has been asked in the UiARD certification exam. Now if you are new to this channel, you can watch my UiARD exam preparation playlist to check all the videos on different topics. Without wasting more time, let's start with question 1. So question 1 is, what is the default value passed in the max number of results property in extract structured data activity during data scraping? Now when we use the data scraping, it creates a extract structured data activity which have the properties max number of results. So if you see, I have extracted some of the data from the datatables.net from this site, and if I click on this extract structured data activity, you can see here the max number of result have the default value as 100. Now this is what the question is: what is the default value passed in max number of results? So the answer is B. Basically it's 100. Now there are some points to remember. There can be a questions when the developer created this data scraping, or developer used this data scraping to scrap some of the data from the table. Then there can be questions like, if there is a certain action performed after this activity, what will going to happen? So we have to we should remember some of the points where, if you see, by default the extract structure data activities provide us the continuum on error, which is checked already. Now if you go to the property of this, you can see the continuum error property, it is checked as a true. Now if something goes wrong with this particular activity, the bot will going to continue further. Simulate is checked by default. So if you see here, the simulate is checked here by default. So these are some of the default property. One is continuum error is checked to true, simulate click is checked to true, and the max number of result is 100. Now let's move to the question 2. So the bot is reading a 50 records from product table with the help of data scraping. Later, developer came to know that table data is increasing and decreasing monthly on the basis of product delivered monthly. So basically, there is a table of the 50 records, but that table record is getting increased and decreased on the basis of the products get delivered on the monthly basis. So in that case, what is the best approach to handle this? A is pass 1,000 value to max number of results in the property, pass 0 or empty value to max number of result property, create a asset with the name monthly value and set value on the monthly basis, and the last option is pass the dynamic variable from config file. Now if you see here, if I pass the 1,000 value to the max number of retiles, I think this is not the correct way to do it, because maybe the value is, maybe the records is 1,000 in the table for the month of January, let's assume that, and in the month of February the records can be increased to 2000. So this is not the correct answer for this question. Now let's move to the B, pass 0 and empty value to max number of result property. Now if I pass 0 or empty value, I didn't pass anything in this property, what will going to happen? So this can be a considerable. Let's move to the C first. Create asset with the name monthly value and set value on the monthly basis. So this is totally wrong because we don't want any user to monitor that 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 on the month of January the record is increased by 1000 and then February is 2000 and the user is updating that in assets. That's totally wrong. D is pass dynamic variable from config file. We cannot do this because the value is changing monthly wise. Every time we have to go to the config file and change it. So option B is the correct here because if we pass a 0 value to the max number of results, it will going to retrieve all the records from the table. Now if you see the question number 3 here, the type into is used to search a text as shown in below screenshot. Now what value it will type in search text box? Now, this is the attached browser. Inside that a type into activity is used, where if you see in the properties a simulate type is checked to true. Now what will be the correct answer? What the bot will going to type into the search text box? So the option is it's 33, then K enter, B is 33, C is 33, and in the bracket is K enter, and 33 plus again in the double close K enter. Now you have to, now if you see here, sorry, you have to see here the value is passed as 33, K enter in the double close. Now if I see the answer, it's option A, which is 33K enter, because whatever value you have passed in this search, in the type into search, it will going to print exactly same. Why? Because the simulate type is not supporting the hotkeys basically. So the shortcut keys you have used here, and if you select the simulate, it wouldn't work. The bot will going to type exactly the same value which you have mentioned in the this type into activity. Now to do it, so what is the other option? The option is if the hotkey is passed with the value in type into, then use send window message property. So this is point to remember. If we are passing any hotkey or shortcut keys, then we don't recommend it to use the simulate type checked true. Instead of that, use send window messages property. Now if you want to press enter with simulate, then use a separate send hotkey activity for enter. Instead of putting it with the text inside, type into activity. Simulate works faster than send window messages. So the another option is whatever the key you have used here, whatever the shortcut key you have used here, just use a send hotkey activity and just pass this enter there. So that will be a better way to do it. But if the send window messages is working for your web application, then you can use this option also. Now let's move to the next question. The send window messages property is checked for type into activities. Does it clear existing text inside text box? Choose the correct option. So if a send window message property is checked for type into activity, does it clear the existing text? So if there is any text present in the text box already, And if we run the bot, and if this send window message property is checked to that control, is bot will going to clear the value or overwrite it or append the value? What will be the result? So in that case, the option is given as true and false, and answer is B, that is false. So if you are using send window messages, the bot will going to write the value just after the value which is already existing in the text box. So for that you need to check the empty field. If you check the empty field and also check the send window messages, in that case it will empty the type into text box, or it will going to put a new value to it. And in the case of simulate type, if you have checked the simulate type, it have a property, existing property. We don't need to select the empty field. In that case it will automatically clears the text box. But in the case of send window messages, you have to check the empty field. So these are few of the questions that need to be remembered while you are attempting for UiARD exam. This is it for today. Let's meet tomorrow. Have a great day.